Thanks for coming to the channel. We're here in Denver, Colorado. I'm a roofing contractor here in the Colorado area. We're doing an F-wave roof today. This is not your ordinary F-wave though. Well, no F-wave is ordinary in my opinion. This is a split shake. So this is a little different than the other videos you've seen. This is one of the first split shakes in the Colorado area. I'm pretty sure it just came out like a year ago, and it's kind of an exciting process because as you can see, this is a wood shake roof. The customer really likes the look of the wood shake roof, and he wanted to preserve that, you know. It's not a ton of options if that's what you really want. There's a roof called Da Vinci, which is an incredible product. I love Da Vinci. Don't know why I don't have a Da Vinci video yet, but I'll get that going here soon. Da Vinci is an unbelievable product. It's just the price point is a little higher than most on Da Vinci. This is more cost effective really. So it's definitely more expensive than an asphalt roof, but it's less expensive than a Da Vinci. So just to give you a sense of that, I had a customer where we quoted them, I think around 50,000 for a Da Vinci recently. And then we quoted him, I think it was like 30 for a asphalt roof. It was a higher end asphalt roof. And then we quoted him, we ended up settling right around 40 for the F-wave. So, you know, he spent an extra 10,000 to not go with asphalt, but saved himself 10,000, still got a nice synthetic roof, high-end residential synthetic roof. And, you know, was very pleased with the final product. It's a beautiful product. So today we're gonna show you more about it. We're gonna actually do some installation training today. So we're gonna kind of show you, because the split shake doesn't install like the designer slate. You gotta be kind of careful. I happen to be bilingual, so I'm actually gonna do a bilingual training. So if you're a contractor out there and you wanna show your crew how to install, they're not great with English, this is the video to watch, because I'm going to do it in Spanish. We're gonna do at least a split shake. There's some nuances there. So the split shake, like I said, a little different. So I'm gonna do a bilingual training on how to, you know, the differences between the designer shake and the split shake. So yeah, if you like the channel, feel free to subscribe. Although this is really probably not gonna subscribe, more informational thing, which is totally fine. And if you are looking for a roof, make sure you go to our website, Foothills Roofing and Exteriors. Just Google it and you know, fill out your contact form and we'll get back to you right away. All right, thanks. Que todo va a ser exactamente lo mismo, menos o sea, ¿cómo se dice?
Colonial.
Sí, colonial, sí, exactamente.
So with a natural wood shake roof like this house had previously,
Yeah.
the pieces aren't the same size, they're not perfect.
O sea, se supone como la madera que existe, se supone que debe de ser como una imitación de la madera que está, y no están perfectamente igual. So the lines will end up being sort of staggered.
Right.
Sí, eso es bien importante. That's very important.
Yes.
Es muy, muy importante que las líneas no estén derechitas, porque se va a ver como un techo de plástico.
So it's sort of the opposite of what you were used to with the other products and most products, because we don't want this to be perfect. We don't want it to be
Yeah, we really need to get blue.
I'll go get it.
They used red on one, and I noticed it.
Really?
Yeah. It almost colors the entire slope that it's been used on, in a reddish sort of tint.
Yeah. If it kind of sloughs off or spills, it's like a tattoo on this stuff. It's just,
Yeah.
it'll stay.
Okay.
So no red chalk, and then our sealants. Not much wants to stick to this, so we have 4 approved sealants. So ABC will usually deliver you the SEBS one, the mule hide product. Okay, so hopefully that's what you have.
Yep.
Another, if you're in a pinch, ABC's not open. You can get at Lowe's, Home Depot, Ace, pretty much everywhere. You can get the OSI Quad, just the regular version, not the Max.
Okay.
The Max doesn't stick to it. Just the
Yeah, pues nomás es que no se puede usar cualquier caulking, ya saben eso, ¿verdad? No se puede usar cualquier caulking. Es uno que dicen que se tiene que usar. Así que, pero vamos a ver que lo tenemos ahí.
Okay, and then straight blades instead of the hook blades.
Eso
This
es
material-
importante también, no pueden usar los cuchillos de gancho. Se tienen que ser, no ustedes, pero otro grupo me hicieron con gancho y quedó todo mardeado ahí, todo chueco ahí en unas orillas. por favor, por favor. Y les dije igual, no gancho, así, no gancho. Y usan gancho y quedó chueco. Y ahí ando regresando y regresando el Valentín para arreglarlo. Por favor, sin el de gancho.
So these thick areas are hard to get through with the hook blades. So you
They
usually end
want
up
new
with-
blades. Just get them some new
I
blades,
need to run
man.
to Home Depot anyways.
you
Yeah,
usually end
yeah.
up with crooked cuts or
Yeah,
always afraid someone's gonna cut
we've been there
themselves 'cause
too.
it gets real jerky, you know.
Yeah, we've been there too.
So you can cut this more like drywall. You don't have to cut all the way through it. You can cut about halfway through and then snap it. So, we'll see that in a minute here. So with the starter,
Ya sabes, es igual de, se puede nomás un corte, más hacer como un corte y luego se quiebra bien fácil.
if you're using a D-style drip edge,
Sí conseguimos, we did the D style on this, I think, right? It's just normal.
It's normal.
okay, I'll show you both. But the nice thing about the D-style is you can just go flush with it because that overhang is already built in the flashing, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then it's easy to get that first course of shingles stuck down.
Yeah,
So D-style, you can go flush with the flashing,
yeah.
or if you're just using a regular drip edge, you can overhang up to 3/4 of an inch.
Okay. ¿Cuánto vas a hacer el que cuelga?
Una pulgada.
Una pulgada. Three quarters of an inch. That's
To 3/4.
that's less than an inch then. Que nomás hasta 3/4 es lo más que se debe de colgar. So like half an inch is probably ideal. Pero no se puede hacer una pulgada, se tiene que ser de 3/4 máximo.
So recommended, but not required
Okay.
in the D-style.
Yeah, gotcha. Yeah.
So with the starter, we don't want these seams lining up. Okay.
So the starter is just
So-
black starter because
Correct.
so that is one difference than the starter previous is like a universal starter.
Right. So the old stuff, which you still may see some out there, had coloring, different color splotches.
Well, we just did one recently and it had it. Yeah, yeah.
There's still some of it out there, but the idea there was for the Estate series.
Yeah.
As it's got the clipped corners here,
Yeah,
so you see some of the starter.
right.
The idea was that you would match that up to the proper color.
Yeah,
The problem is that wasn't happening. Guys were not taking the time to actually put it on the correct color, so you'd have
Okay.
the wrong color showing through,
okay.
which just looked bad. So we decided to go just to black. which
So
looks-
at this point, the
fine.
universal starter doesn't have those multicolors.
No.
It's all just this
All
black.
just black.
And so, so the Estate series, you did the black just sort of blends with the
Yes.
rest of it.
Yep.
Does it?
Yeah,
Okay.
it's a nice clean look under there on that first course. And
Oh,
of course,
okay.
Anything other than there, it's not going to show. So.
¿Te acuerdas que antes tenía colores diferentes? Pues ahora ya. Mande.
Las primeras que hicimos,
Sí, pero ya. El último también era nomás puro negro.
la que hicimos apenas.
See? Okay. So I guess the last one actually was all black. So is this same starter for the designer slate also?
Yes.
Is it? Okay.
We just have one.
One starter.
One
okay.
starter.
For all of them.
Yep, for-
okay.
for every
all right.
product.
I didn't realize I didn't realize this is kind of a thin. I thought it was like a lot thicker than this. Como que está un poco
About a
delgadito.
1/4 inch.
Is it? That's definitely thicker than the other one though, right? Than the designer slate.
Maybe a little bit.
Just a little bit. Okay. Maybe like some
Oh, no,
mills.
yeah, the other two, it might be slightly, but they're pretty close.
Are they? Okay.
Close in size.
Okay. Interesting.
Okay,
¿Tienes
so
una
we-
pregunta?
So we want to take a bit off about a tab and a half off the first piece of starter, okay? So that your seam
So far it
is
seems
gonna
like there's.
is going to be protected under the middle of a tab.
That's the same as on designer slate, right?
Yes.
Okay. So far it seems like there's not a lot different than the designer slate.
Correct.
Okay.
Everything is the same,
Okay.
with the exception of staggering the courses.
Staggering the
Yeah, so
courses.
when we-
Okay.
and we'll get into that in a second here.
Okay.
Okay. So with the starter, yep, we want to cut it so our seam is protected, just that first piece, and then, every other whole piece will be in that same spot. It'll be protected.
Okay, so let me just be clear. Entonces, aquí este es el starter. Lo pones ahí, pero aquí media pulgada para que quedan así. ¿Qué era la palabra que usaste? Colonización.
Escalonear.
¿Cómo?
Escalonear.
Escalonear, sí. Entonces va a estar escalonada, pero tienes que cortarlo aquí.
6 nails per shingle on the starter. You want to be about 1.5 inches up. from the edge.
Okay. Que seis clavos en todos los starters.
The
Que
shingles.
media pulgada de la orilla.
So the shingles are also going to be
Eso es
6
todo,
nails.
eso es normal, ¿verdad? Todo eso es normal, sí, okay.
Yep. 6 nails per shingle. Okay. You've got the markings here. You don't have to be a bullseye with it, but be close because they're placed and designed so that as you do these staggers, you won't see a nail.
Que ahí tiene, tiene la marca, seis clavos por cada, ¿cómo se llama? Por cada shingle, y luego también que no deben de ser muy recio, right? There's like a temp, or not like a pressure gauge thing that they're supposed to like be aware of or be careful about, right? Is that still a thing?
No. So what you might be thinking of is a lot of times you may need to turn your gun up.
Yeah.
The pressure.
Yeah.
Because we want the nails to lay nice and flat.
Yeah.
So if,
A veces tienes que subir la presión
not be enough.
para que queda así como debe de quedar. Y que si la presión está igual que los shingles, a veces no entra hasta adentro porque está más grueso este techo.
So we want a nice, flat, smooth deck. Okay? So
Yeah.
inherent in the strength of this product and the material is some stiffness. So if there's something underneath or a high nail on one of the shingles, you're going to see it in the product. It's going to have a, it's going to keep that tab up because they're stiff. It's not going to conform around it like that.
Yeah, so the one thing we noticed with the designer slate, it's probably the same here, is if it's not a redeck, complete redeck, you will see there's some deck transference, and you can see the blemishes or the waves in the deck pretty well on the designer slate. Is this kind of similar situation? Okay, all right, yeah.
Because it's the same format, same material, and everything is so perfect with this and lays so flat that yes, you do see.
Yeah, the customer actually was joking. Thank God he was joking, but he said, "Is it called F-wave because my roof looks wavy now?" I said no, no, but we did have to go back and replace probably 3 squares of decking. So that was a pain. But yeah, so now I kind of really warn them, you should really do a redeck if you're going to do this roof, or be aware that you'll see some transference, and if you're not comfortable with that, you should think about a redeck.
Now these shingles are pretty easy to keep straight, because they're kind of so perfect in their shape.
Yeah.
So if you get your first couple courses nice and straight, it's going to be pretty easy. So you've got these alignment tabs, right? You can work left to right, right to left, doesn't matter. And you use this little notch, and we're going to line that up on our marking here. So we'll do this first course at number 1. Okay?
Yeah. So, I mean, they're still straight. Yeah.
We've got these markings on each side to line up.
So that's the same as designer slate as well.
Yep.
Okay,
Yep.
so so it looks like it is straight. I guess what you're referring to as staggered is these lines are kind of staggered.
Correct.
They're not perfectly in the middle.
Correct.
Okay.
Exactly. So
Que sí está derecho todavía, nomás que las líneas estas no están perfectamente en el medio del otro. Esa es la diferencia una de las diferencias principal.
thank you. Okay, so we did this course at number 1. So our next course we can do at number 2. So number 2 right here. We'll line up on our little notch. Next course, number 3. And then back to 1.
Y luego otra vez al...
Okay, so 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Uno, dos, tres, uno, dos, tres. All the way up, okay? You can also...
Él lo hizo al revés. Nosotros le podemos subir al 3, 2 y 1, ¿no?
They do 3, 2, 1.
That's fine.
Yeah.
1, 2, 3, igual.
Y 3, 2, 1.
Sí, sí, lo igual.
It's same.
Yeah,
Same. That's
it's,
okay.
que está
It's
bien
fine.
así, sé que sí, que es lo mismo. O sea que no tiene que ser 3, 2, 1 o 1, 2, 3 siempre, que puedes mezclarlo un poquito, pero hay que tener cuidado que no lo mezclas. Ya que tienen más, que se puede mezclar un poco, pero no mucho, es todo. Pero yo pienso que deben nomás 1, 2, 3 o 3, 3, 1 para no equivocarse uno, sí. All right.
So just a reminder, the glue that's on the shingles, very important, okay? So we want to keep that clean.
Que ¿cómo se llama? El pegamento es bien importante, que tiene que quedarse limpio.
Okay? So if you're feeding a guy shingles up on the roof, do it glue side up, okay? So it doesn't get, sawdust, dirt,
Okay,
anything in the glue. Okay? So we want to keep that nice and clean, and then at the end of the day, walk the laps. Just make sure everything makes contact. So this glue is very strong, very good, but it needs to make that initial contact. So we want to put some manual pressure on it. So I tell the guys, just baby step, just walk the laps. Okay.
Okay.
Just takes a few minutes. You got what, 6 guys?
Yeah.
Like that. So yeah, if something gets dirty up there, if the glue on a shingle gets dirty up there, throw it away. Basura.
Si se ensucia uno, que lo tiran. Bueno, we've always used this metal, but it's again recommended, not required type of thing, right?
Correct.
Yeah, okay.
The reason we use it is when this gets cut, because of this sort of honeycomb pattern on the back, in profile it doesn't look real clean.
Yeah.
So this is going to cover that, and then we get a bonus benefit of it's also going to block wind and wind-driven rain from trying to get under that rake edge.
Yeah, this T-metal is really important.
Yeah.
En este techo no hay este metal, pero pues hay nomás.
So we want to leave a little bit of a gap, okay, about 1/8 to 1/4 of an inch. So we don't, and that's going to be anywhere. So if this was a sidewall with step flashing, a skylight, a pipe boot, chimney, anything like that, we want to leave a little bit of a gap.
Siempre un poquito de espacio ahí abierto, sí.
So if we jam it up against something, what tends to happen, you won't see it when you're installing, but if you come back, a few days later, it tends to make that first tab a little bit cockeyed one way or the other.
Yeah,
So
okay.
we want to leave a little bit of a gap. The other thing we're going to do that's a little bit different, where we have cut edges, like rakes, valleys, sidewall, is we're going to use sealant, okay, the silicone, and we're not just going to run a bead up the edge. We're going to do it as we go each course, okay? So we're going to do it on the headlap of the shingle and up about 6 inches, so it's underneath the next course.
Okay. Cada rake debe de tener un pegamento, el caulking ahí, más en las orillas.
So when your next course goes on, same thing, headlap.
En cada curso, en cada línea, sí. That's the same as designer's slate as well, right?
Correct.
Yeah. Que es lo mismo en la otra de todos modos.
Okay, so for valley, same thing, we want our little gap.
Un cuarto,
Right.
¿está bueno?
Un cuarto, like a 1/4 inch.
Yeah, 1/8 to 1/4, whatever.
Un 8 a un cuarto, sí.
Siempre va pegado o hay que darle 2 pulgadas.
Va pegado, nomás so he's wondering if we could do open sort of an open valley. Yeah.
Yep.
You could do like 2 inches
Yeah,
open.
so if you want to do an open valley,
Okay.
you can back it out 2 to 3 inches.
Sí, que sí
on
se
each
puede
side.
hacer así.
I would always check with the customer
Sí.
in case they're not expecting that look.
Sí, es mejor cerrado. Siempre lo vendo cerrado. Sí.
In the valley, we can't be putting nails in the middle of the valley, right?
Okay,
Or it kind
yeah.
of defeats our.
Que no se puede poner clavos
Valley metal.
ahí en medio del valley.
So we want to keep any nails out here, in that same area where we're attaching the actual valley to the deck.
Tratar de poner los clavos lo más
So if I were-
afuera que
If
se
I were
puede.
nailing this, put one here, maybe here, but we don't have any nails here.
Que no
right?
haya en medio ahí.
So we're going to do our silicone again.
Otra vez
But
el
we're gonna-
silicón.
We're going to do 2. Okay.
En
Dos.
vez de una línea, 2 líneas.
So we're going to do 1. 2. So that's going to help, since we can't put nails here, that's going to help hold everything down. It's going to stick it to each other and down to the deck.
Como no puedes usar clavos, el silicón le va, haz de cuenta que le va a ayudar.
Then we need more caulk.
Yep. That's a common thing.
That's a little bit of a concern that you're gonna have to caulk it in the valley, and that's what's holding it down.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Well, I mean, it's stiff and it's nailed here, so it's
Okay.
you know, it's holding down.
Yeah.
But this is, you know, just a little something extra. We want to do our little dog ear here as well. Okay. And you would probably do that on something like a tri-lam shingle, those kind of things.
So as far as warranty purposes, F-Wave warranties it for 15 years, like I think non-prorated.
Yep.
Eso es bien importante poner las dos líneas porque en caso que falla un día y ellos tienen garantía de 15 años con la fábrica, con el fabricante, pero si no ven el caulking ahí, después yo me jodo. Así que ahí por favor porque ponen el caulking. And then 5 years still of hail guarantee.
Correct.
Okay.
Yep.
Que sí, que el ice and water de hecho es necesario, lo requieren para la garantía.
One note on the ice and waters is this is TPO based. The granulated ice and waters have asphalt products at the surface. Asphalt products and TPO don't play well together, so we want a non-granulated ice and water, or if you use a granulated, you can just cover it with the synthetic underlayment.
Pues ya saben que no se puede usar el ice and water que tiene el granizo, no el granizo, ¿cómo se llama? Pues el polvito ese arriba, tiene que ser tiene que ser papel en todo. O sea, pueden poner ice and water en las orillas y en los valleys, pero tiene que estar cubrido con papel. ¿Alguna pregunta sobre el valley? Felipe, ¿tenías una pregunta del valley?
No,
Todo bien clarito.
El ice water y se llevaba papel.
Sí, sí se puede. No más que los clavos y el caulking es lo más importante, pienso, en el valley, sí. Y no más que si van a poner ice and water abajo, pues hay que cubrirlo con papel. Es lo mismo como en la otra, no sé, ojalá que están poniendo caulking en las otras también, pero es lo mismo con el de la otra también. Okay. Que 1 pulgada y inch and a sorry, what did you say on the first one?
Inch and a quarter for the shingles.
Okay.
An inch and 3/4.
1 pulgada y medio para los shingles y 1 pulgada y 3/4. You're talking about the size of the nails? Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Que los clavos más largos, eso es normal. Los clavos más largos en el ridge, sí. Okay.
So our ridge, very similar to asphalt, with a couple exceptions. One is our nail line is up here. Okay, so where it says nail here, clavo aquí, right? That's where the reinforcement is. So a lot of guys coming from asphalt, they want to nail it here. That's no good. Okay, no bueno. It's not reinforced there, and that's also where the glue for the next piece is supposed to sit in
Pues
contact.
que hay que tener mucho cuidado en donde lo clavan ahí, porque no puede estar clavado más abajo de ahí donde tienen. Well, you guys did a pretty good job on that, right?
Yeah, it was
that's a really
embossed
nice
before,
job.
but
Ahí
you
donde
still
van
miss
los
it and nail it
clavos,
down.
really interesting. Wow, that's really good that you guys do that.
Yeah. So if you nail it in the wrong spot, it'll kind of dimple it down and give less surface area for that
Okay.
contact. So, and it's not reinforced. So make sure we nail it.
2 on each side, 2
Okay.
sides, yeah.
So our
dos cada.
requirement is only 1 per side, but here on the front range, everybody's used to doing 2 nails per side, and that's completely
Oh,
fine.
que nomás requieren
So
una.
whatever you want to do. 2 nails
Uno
is
por
great.
lado.
I don't
But
have enough-
bueno, we're sorry.
have a second piece
Real quick,
down here.
they really want to do 2 nails. We always do 2 nails,
Yeah.
I guess. No más que pon los dos en estos dos, porque si van abajo de aquí se va a fregar el shingle. Así que tiene que ser uno ahí y otro acá, yo pienso.
Yeah, if you're doing 2, do it.
Oh, like that. Okay. Sí.
that's-
Okay.
This is the reinforcement, right? So we want to mark that.
Oh, gotcha. Okay. Entonces, si van a poner los dos, tiene que uno aquí y uno ahí. Ahí está. Pero nomás requieren uno, así que pero vamos a hacer dos de todos modos. Entonces, mira, yo pienso que sí he visto ridges cuando ustedes lo hacen que está un poquito abajo. No puede estar abajo así. Tiene que estar ahí mero. Ahí mero.
Sí, porque como trae 2 líneas, nomás
¿Sí
agarras
ves? The ridge has to be really, this is important. The ridge has to really be lined up just like that. A lot of people, even our crew has done like that and we had to redo it. So you got to really line it up just like that, or else you might have some problems with some wind damage.
Preferably above the ridge, that little ridge.
Right, so this edge, you can just line up with this edge.
Yeah. It'd be better to have it behind it
just like
or
that.
instead of over it.
Over it.
Yeah, just right on it.
Over it.
So that
Yeah.
blue is contacting where it's supposed to.
Hip roof.
So we have some nice little guidelines here. Use whichever one is working out best for the angles that you have
Para
on
cortar los
site.
hips. Sí. Yeah, pretty familiar on cutting the hips. It's nice that they put those little lines down like that.
We see a big scar here, you know, a big cut with lots of nails and silicone.
Yeah, the joint.
So, yeah. So a nice thing to do is you can make your cut here.
Mm-hmm.
Make one of these pieces. Bring out an extra piece
Mm-hmm.
of that ridge. Bend it down and face nail.
Mm.
And then that's going to cover that whole, that's going to cover that seam and give a really nice finished look. So you don't have all that.
Sí, ves ese detalle en donde todos juntan.
Is there lines? No.
No,
So
because it's going to be different on every application, right?
¿Quieres otro en el
Depending on
grupo? Te doy este güerito.
right.
where those meet up.
Que ahorita empiece, ahorita le preparamos, que luego se empiece.
Te lo vendo. Oh, nice. Wow.
So like that,
Look at
Yeah.
you.
and then where's it?
And then we'd have
Like a real roofer over here.
yeah.
Pues ahí se ve bien, pero pues ya estando ya como tiene caída y todo, para doblarle esa.
Yeah, he's
You
saying
wanna
that he's
follow
not. He's saying it's
Yes.
easy to do on here, but
This line.
Yes.
Okay.
And then the nice thing about this extra little piece is it's going to cover up all that caulking and face nails and anything that you might have under there. It just gives it a really
sí,
nice
que más
finished
que lo
look.
doblas así y se clava, se supone. Sí. Pero cualquier modo que se tiene que hacer para que quede bonito y que no le entra agua. All right, that sounds good.
Okay. So everything else,
That's pretty much it,
on
or
yeah, everything
Okay.
else on the ridge is going
Nice.
to be very similar to asphalt.
If you're a new project manager and you're doing a brand new, your first F-Wave job, one thing that you need to look for and pay attention to is your materials that are on site. You know, you can't have red chalk on for your chalk lines because that will basically tattoo your brand new roof shingles and it'll discolor it. You want to make sure you have straight razor blades instead of the curved roofing blades so that you have straight lines and you don't cut yourself because it's a plastic material, it's very hard to cut through. You want to make sure you have the correct caulking because certain types of caulk will only adhere to the F-Wave material. And you want to make sure that you have your product rep stop by, go over things with you. So you want to make sure that you're staying on site and watching the install because if you get off course by even a quarter of an inch, then your whole roof will be off center and you'll have different staggered lines, you'll have unstraight lines, and you're gonna have a homeowner asking why do they have a crooked roof. So, and you also wanna make sure that your decking is flat enough so that the shingles will lay flat and they won't be wavy.
So guys, like, make sure you're doing lots of supervision. Don't wind up with a crooked roof, please. That would be very bad. You know, no one will be happy. One thing to think about too is the decking. There is deck transference on an F-Wave roof. So let them know from the very beginning that you really should be thinking about redecking this roof. If you're not gonna redeck it, no problem. You don't have to redeck it. It's just that you might see some blemishes from the decking underneath protrude through the roofing. Trust me, I've been through it, and that's how I learned. And because we had to replace a whole bunch of decking on a house because they said, "Is it called F-Wave because my roof looks wavy, or is it for something else?" And I said, "No, it's not why it's called F-Wave." And we are going to fix that waviness. But I had to learn the hard way. You know, that was years ago, and so we don't make those kind of mistakes anymore. So please, don't be like me. Learn the easy way. You know, and so. Thanks again for watching this video. I really appreciate it. And if you are looking for a new roof, make sure you reach out to our website, Foothills Roofing and Exteriors, or you can call us and we'll get back to you right away. Thank you. Have a great day.